Stand by. The program will begin soon. Breaking: New York's highest court denies Trump's motion to stop his sentencing in Manhattan tomorrow with Stormy Daniels' campaign cover-up criminal case. Trump is getting sentenced tomorrow, this is yesterday, and will officially be a convicted felon forever. Forever? Forever, ever? Because, and I asked that question why. Why do I ask that question? He'll be a convicted felon forever. Except that if the conviction is overturned in the appeals process, you are no longer and never were a convicted felon. If your conviction is overturned in the appeals process, you are no longer and never were a felon. So, is there a labor shortage? Ultimately, the entire need for H-1B workers is predicated on a supposed domestic worker shortage. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the current native-born American labor force participation is around 63%. Meanwhile, the foreign-born labor force participation is a stunning 68%. Importantly, per the Wall Street Journal, census data show immigrants who arrived since the start of 2020 are more than twice as likely to lack a high school diploma as U.S. In the next 4 months, he beat not one but two Democratic opponents, swept all 7 swing states, and became the first Republican to win the popular vote in 20 years. He has realigned American politics, remaking the GOP and leaving the Democrats reckoning with what went awry. I'll tell you what went awry. They suck! Okay.
Did you know that since 1977, Congress has only passed the budget on time 4 times? The last time Congress passed a balanced budget was in 2001.
That was the
Did you know
Congress?
That over the last 6 years, Congress hasn't passed an appropriations bill on time once? In fact, we have had 17 continuing resolutions in the last 6 years.
In 6 years.
And since Biden has taken office, we have had over 11 omnibuses pushed through. Congress has only passed a balanced budget 4 times ever, meaning we didn't have a surplus or a deficit.
The mainstream has become fringe, and the fringe has become mainstream. There are platforms, there are people out there that are getting 14 million streams. And we're on cable news getting 1 to 2 million. And so there's
not on CNN.
the whole world out there. Kellyanne Conway, I hate to agree with her, but I do a lot of times. Donald Trump understood that and we didn't.
Stand by. The program will begin soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday Q&A, and let's. The first question today is from our friend Avocado Diabli, who says, have you ever woke up half naked except for a pair of lace panties, a Foot Locker's employee's ref jersey, and a Pirate's eye patch stuck in the slide of a children's playground? AD? I'm becoming concerned. I'm becoming concerned. I would love to hear that story, though. Just out of curiosity, I guess I don't know if I really want to hear that story, but no. Very discouraged to see many influencers turning on some of our biggest fighters in Congress. Instead of going after the 38 who stand on principle and not raise the debt ceiling, but also didn't support the continuing resolution, why are they going after people like Republican Congressman Greg Murphy, North Carolina 3, who was for the original continuing resolution? Or why not just go after the Democrats who are responsible for this entire mess? Why eat our own strong conservatives, especially over something like the debt ceiling, when no one really wants it raised in the long run? Even if the 38 had voted yes on the American Relief Act, it still wouldn't have passed. So what is the end goal here? To get rid of strong conservatives because we don't 100% agree all the time?
Stand by. The program will begin soon. House report recommends FBI investigation into Liz Cheney over alleged witness tampering while on the JC committee. So there's this seems to be blowing up in Liz Cheney's face as opposed to getting shot with birdshot by her dad.
Here's another one. Taxpayers fund a disinformation index, but the real fake news is that it's useful. The Department of State wasted $330,000 to fund censorship of non-liberal and conservative media. Historically, the largest purveyor of disinformation is the U.S. government, without question. And now, once again, the government has decided to position itself as the ultimate judge of what is true and what is not. There exists an animal whose shit is actually super delicious. Oh my God. It would have to be some sort of seafood. Avocado Salvi, what would you consider to be the most disconcerting thing about one could see in the toilet after you got done going to the bathroom? Only things that come from inside you count. Well, I think a 14-foot tapeworm would be kind of disconcerting. You're like, what the heck? That was inside of me. Okay. Lord Stanham asks, which member of Congress would you like to catch leprosy? You can name as many as you'd like. Well, let me just start with Jamie Raskin. And Adam Schiff. That's enough. This is lightning round. Avocado Stiabi says, why is it that Nancy Mace is the only woman in Congress that does not sound like one of the teachers from Peanuts to me when she speaks? Maybe it's because she's from the South, although her accent is not that pronounced. Somnambule Nation, is this the penultimate? Is this the last question? No, it's not. Lord Stanhope, will you have a Merry Christmas? Melancholy. We already explained that earlier. Select a boy who on The Simpsons has a plan that's good on paper but horrible in execution. Oh, obviously Homer. How many of you remember the name Crystal Magnum? Crystal Magnum. Does that name ring a bell? Anybody? Crystal Magnum. Now, even if you don't know that name, you know. It sounds like a stripper name, doesn't it? Crystal Magnum? That sounds like a stripper name or a porn star or something like that.
And he, Elon Musk, his net worth grew by $170 billion in the month after the election.
Do you understand what net worth is, Joy? That doesn't mean they put $170 million in his bank account. I over and over, I'm going to give you the Scrooge McDuck theory. No, he doesn't have a giant vault of golden dollar bills that he can go swimming in. It just means that the value of his company went up. So the only way to get that money is to liquidate parts of his company. $40 billion, that works out to about $5 per person. Exactly. $40 billion in China. If you just gave to all China, that's $40 a person. That ain't gonna end world hunger, you dumbass.
Wait.
Yeah.
And it just keeps making more and more money, and nothing is done with that money to help people.
It's not money, you dumbass. It's net worth. Net worth is not money. Net worth means, oh, well, the stock of this went up by, 40%. Can't spend it, but unless you sell it. But sure, this is it's just insane. It's financially and culturally illiterate.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Night.
Yes! I jumped in a little soon, but that's okay. It's my show. I can do whatever the hell I want. Hey there. Good. Damn it. That'll teach me. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel on this hump day, the 22nd of January, 2025. And yeah, yeah, snowing in Florida. We talked about that yesterday, how they were getting blizzard conditions in like Louisiana and snow in Florida. There was a couple cool memes about that. Someone talking about, after I get off the slopes in Florida, I can hop over to Publix to get some fried chicken. Yeah, I mean, my wife is leaving for Mazatlan tomorrow because she and her friend have some business down there. And is in there, just going to go chill for a while. But the problem is it's 54 degrees in Mazatlan. But let me just tell you something about the cold, because yesterday when I got up to go to my little job at UPS, my little part-time job there, it was 19 below zero in my lovely town in Minnesota. And my truck, it starts, right? And it was so cold that I'm like, forget it. I'm going to leave my truck running while I'm at work. I left it running I knew I was only going to be there about 3 hours. So I just left it running. It was just too cold to try to start it again. I wanted to be warm when I got out. But, when you go out of the cold and when it's 19 below, you're like, oh, it's shocking, right? It is shocking. And I got layers on, and I got a hat, and I got the hood over the hat, and I got, I've got really super warm gloves because I'm a Minnesotan and I know how to dress for the weather. So I'm like, okay, I can do it. It's cold as hell. But this morning, when I get up to go to work, it was 13 degrees. And it felt almost like it was warm. I mean, I walked outside and not so bad out here today. I'm just going to go ahead and do my thing. My truck started right up. Everything was fine. And my doorbell's working again because, and those, if you have those Ring doorbells, they don't do too well in this sub-zero weather, but it was working again. I was just like, oh my gosh, it's almost like it's balmy out here. I could have been in a sweatshirt and some shorts or something this morning at 13 degrees. So all of you complaining about the cold or whatever not, wherever you are, just live in Minnesota a few years. You'll be fine. My mother, she lives in Long Beach, California, and I got to call her to see if she's okay today, because it's 45 degrees in Long Beach, California. I got to give her a call. So anyway, happy winter, and welcome to winter for those of you who don't normally get winter. First, real quick, thank you, Gunfox61. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Already dropped Hamilton in the tip jar with an article about Finland, which I will get to in a minute. Thank you, Gunfox, for your contribution. Appreciate that. If you want to sponsor the show. By the way, if you haven't done the Let's Go thing, the link's there for another 30 seconds. And, now that I think about it, it takes about 30 seconds for you to hear me say this. So I'll leave it up for another minute or so. If you want to hit that link and drop a Let's Go with a meme or a GIF or a GIF or some peanut butter or whatever. I don't know why that joke's funny to me. GIF, GIF, peanut butter, get it? Got it. Anyway, you could. I'd appreciate if you do that over on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, or if you could just share the stream somewhere on Discord or Reddit or whatever. I don't even know if there's a subreddit for my show. I should probably think about that. But there is a Discord. You know how to get to it. There'll be a link there in a minute. But let's say hi to everybody here and let's get this thing started. I'm going to take this link down and we'll put up a link if you want to sponsor the show. That'll be there. Thank you. I see Mike Savage just added one. We'll get to that in a minute. First, the chat, and even got something in the chat before I did. Apparently my computer did not refresh fast enough because Avocado Diablo kicked my butt. Oh my gosh. So you get a bell. I'm going to give you 2 bells. There, you get a second bell. Is that bell really soft? That's really weird. I can barely hear it. Maybe it's just I need to turn my volume up. I don't know. Anyway, also good morning to Somnambul Nation. Now at studios, my dear friend Wu from high school. Good morning, Pete Douglas. Freedom Ring. Yeah, you remember how you felt when you walked out of prison. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, my friend was in prison for a while for some bogus bullshit, and they finally let her out. Thank God. Tyre is here. Tyre Alexander, the Scourge. Also, good morning to Kara Soldier. Dom O'Leary's here. Mike Savage, Blarg. Number 1 is here. Unacceptable views by other favorite Canadians. Lord Stanhope's in the house. Did I already? Yeah, no, I didn't say. Tyler F's here. What's up, Tyler? Lord Stanhope, of course. Also, Vader35. Johnny Boomer Tech is doing his job. Resolute Germs here. Anon 1, 2, 3 is here. Good morning. Green Badger Outdoors. Attack Alpaca. Regaction Puerto Rico. You lovely island is here. Good morning, sir. Also, Jethro Hetero. What's up? Amazing Disgrace is in the house. And Stefania, welcome back. Nice to have you here on your rare live appearance. Also, Darren Roots in the house. And there's a bunch of people here. What's up? Special Can Acid, the honorable mention on my list of favorite Canadians. And, Found is here too. Man, what's up? Everyone's dropping in today. I love it. Love to see it. Willie is in the house. Thank you for joining us. Also, Mrs. Hayes, hello. And thank you, Reaction Puerto Rico, who is did a super chat here, who says, I've experienced a 60-degree swing before, spent a week at -30, and it shot up to 20 overnight. Felt like a heat wave. Yeah, isn't it weird? Like, I remember we had a cold wave a while back when it was like around -30. Or -20, and it was up in I think it's what's the town up in Tower, Minnesota. It got down to 60 below zero, and I'm just like, I can't even. I've been having a hard time with the 20 below that we were at yesterday. It was 60 below zero. But you know, when you in that weather for any period of time, plus you have to but when it's that cold, by the way, you got to really protect yourself. You got to wrap up. You got to protect your skin. You got to cover your most of your skin, and because it's dangerous. That is dangerous cold. But when it goes up 30 degrees, like from yesterday to today, -19 to 13 degrees. That's a 20, that's a 32 degree swing. It literally feels like you're back into warm weather, even though it's still cold as. I was gonna say it's balls, but balls aren't really cold. But anyway, yeah, it's wild. Thank you, Reaction on Puerto Rico. Appreciate it. So, also quick thank you to the people who have been sharing the stream. Looks like I'm gonna scroll down here. Oh, what the hell happened there? Oh, I forgot I had to restart the show. Let me fix that. There we go. That should do it. All right. For the people who have shared the show so far, and let's see, is this today's? That's yesterday's. It's 58. There we go. Starting with Somnambul Nation, always tweets out the show much faster than I do. Also, thank you, Somnambul Nation. Oh, there we go. There's a let's go. Let's make America great again. Yes, thank you. And then we got Resolute Germ. Yes, a little Stone Cold. That's a let's go. That's kind of messy. A messy way to drink beer, though. It's like, first of all, you barely get any in your mouth. And then it's like all over your shirt, and then you're cold and wet the whole time. I don't know. I'm not so sure about that method of beer drinking, but I get it. It's a shtick for the World Wrestling Federation. Also, Reaction on Puerto Rico. Oh, we got, what is this? Let's see if there's sound on this. Wait, where are you right now that you're doing snow like this? Are you in Florida? Where are you right now? I know that happened in Florida. There's snow in Florida. There's snow in Louisiana. It's all, Alabama. All over the South. There's snow. People are just freaking out. Also, Green Badger Outdoors. You got to open that door first, though, dude. I mean, what's up? And then here, that's the link to the show. And then we got Arthur Nix. Oh, Nick. Well, Arthur, if you're here, sound off. But yeah, I'm wondering, is that Puerto Rico? Or where's the snow? Wait, I'm going to find reaction Puerto Rico. Oh, no, that's... Wait, message rejected. Oh, retracted. What was that? Oh, I see. That was the... that was that. Yeah, where's that little snow scene from, Reaction? Out of curiosity. And then, thank you, CG. Got a little cute little kitty. Ah. Or is that a bear? I don't know what the hell that is. It's and then Amazing Disgrace. Oh, that's kind of funny. I've never seen that GIF before. And Mike Savage, of course, and Ty Alexander dropping a little woo, Ric Flair. And then people retweeting the show. Thank you, Mansquatch, Swamp Fox Ghost, Mr. X, Ty Alexander, Amazing Disgrace, and CG, and Reaction Puerto Rico, and Resolute Germ, and Banks. What up, Robert Banks? And Stomnumble Nation. All right. Thanks, everybody, for sharing the show. It's greatly appreciated. We always, I am greatly appreciated to all the people who do that. So there you go. We've got 33 people here already. That's good. Well, there should be 33 likes then. 33 people, 33 likes. We only got 12 likes. Fix that now. Well, before you forget, because sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I'll do it, whatever. Or, I don't know. Well, I'll get back to it, and then the show's over, and then you're like, oh, did I ever hit the like button? I don't think I did. Fix that. Let's get that ratio up. All right, let's get into this news. Or just things that are happening. Obviously, today is Hump Day. And so today's Hump Day post, it may take you a moment to get this one. Okay, this is someone named Vanessa says, Happy Hump Day. An erection, but fancier. Now, let's see if you get the joke here. Oh, silly, silly, silly. Bone hair. Get it? Anyway, let's see. And then here's that one. Nothing better after a long day of skiing in the North Florida mountains. That's a Publix fried chicken. And that was not a racist joke. I can say that kind of stuff. Now, I gotta be careful here. I don't know. Let me come off of here. Make sure this isn't. Oh, no need to put that on there. I mean, it's not like nudity, but it's just, I don't need to do any scantily clad. Oh, here's a good one. Okay, this will work. This is a good Hump Day one. Someone lose their hump. Well, it finally happened. Get it? It finally happened. He froze his ass off. Yeah, it happens. All right, there you go. All right, let's move on. That's enough for Hump Day stuff. Let's do, happy anniversary. It's, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump and Melania Trump celebrate their 20th anniversary this year. A lot of people saying happy anniversary to Donald and Melania Trump. Happy 20th anniversary to Donald and Melania. And they got some nice pictures of the first couple. Of course, Trump looks kind of angry there. What that is, I don't know. There's and then there's a happier one, and there's a happier one where they're kissing at a baseball game, and then that's, I don't know what that's from, but anyway, happy 20th anniversary to Donald and Melania Trump. And this is funny. Here's another meme. Here's okay, so anyway, there you go. That's funny. All right. So happy anniversary to the Trumps. What else we got here? We got, Prince Harry is trending. Now, there was a time a while back where Prince Harry was demanding, I believe, a retraction or something, the British tabloids. He had a legal battle with Rupert Murdoch. And so the grok topic here says Prince Harry is currently in the spotlight due to his ongoing legal battle with Rupert Murdoch's British tabloids, specifically News Group newspapers, over allegations of unlawful information gathering, which began its trial on January 20th, 2025. Settlement negotiations between Prince Harry and the Sun's publisher are reportedly very close, as revealed in court on January 21st. So
At the time, Prince Harry was saying that this was a matter of principle, that there's no amount of money that they would take, that they wanted to settle this in court. Well, apparently, Prince thought he gave that up. Well, I don't know if he can give up the title ever. Hello, Renee Mayette, by the way. Anyway, apparently, Prince Harry, moral crusader, according to Piers Morgan, ended up taking the cash. Now will he now be issuing a full and unequivocal apology to the royal family for his own serious intrusion in their lives for personal and financial gain? Or is royal intrusion absolutely fine when he does it? What a hypocrite. So anyway, someone here says, here's the full statement from Rupert Murdoch's NGN to Prince Harry and to Lord Tom Watson. Now, I don't give a shit personally, but, some of you people care about this stuff. So I'm just going to read it anyway. It says, NGN's apology to the claimants. NGN offers a full and unequivocal apology to the Duke of Sussex for the serious intrusion by the Sun between 1996 and 2011 into his private life, including incidents of unlawful activities carried out by private investigators working for the Sun. NGN offers a full and unequivocal apology to the Duke of Sussex for phone hacking, surveillance, and misuse of private information by journalists and private investigators instructed by them at News of the World. That sounds like, is that like Weekly World News in Britain? I don't know what that is. NGN further apologizes to the Duke for the impact on him of the extensive coverage and serious intrusion into his private life, as well as the private life of Diana, Prince of Wales, his late mother, in particular during his younger years. We acknowledge and apologize for the distress caused to the Duke and the damage inflicted on relationships, friendships, and family. Well, hold on. Damage inflicted on relationships. I think the Duke and Meghan had their own culpability in that. But anyway, and have agreed to pay him substantial damages. It is also acknowledged, without any admission of illegality, that NGN's response to the 2006 arrest and subsequent actions were regrettable. NGN also offers a full and unequivocal apology to Lord Watson for the unwarranted intrusion carried out in his private life during his time in government by the News of the World during the period of 2009 to 2011. Now, I don't know who the fuck Lord Watson is, and I don't care. Here's the point. I'm not going to read any more of this crap. Apparently, Harry took an 8-figure settlement and breaking, Prince Harry and the Sun newspaper very close to settlement negotiations. Harry took the advice of his mother-in-law and settled on cash. It doesn't say how much. Someone says if Prince Harry takes a settlement, he's a moron and a liar. He refused to settle in 2019 when Prince William did. Harry called it a secret payment in a weird insult. No, for Harry, it was about morals and accountability. If he settles now, it was always about the money. So he's about to take the money. Let's put it that way. Oh, wait. Rupert Murdoch smacks down Prince Harry in this wonderful statement. How does that smack him down? Okay. Prince Harry, I will not be silenced. We must go to court. I must do it for those 1,300 people. I will not be bought with money. Murdoch, shut your pie hole and name your price. Prince Harry, make it 8 figures and my silence is yours. Murdoch, done. So apparently they're going to settle. So if you're interested in that shit, go look with the rest yourself. I think I don't give a shit. Okay, moving on. Let's get into, in other news, thank you, GunFox61. Apparently, Finland has become the 53rd country to join the Artemis Accords for moon exploration. The Nordic nations signed the accords on January 21st. The Artemis Accords has just gained its 53rd member nation, bolstering NASA's effort to establish peaceful and cooperative international space exploration. Finland joined NASA's Artemis Accords on January 21st, though a signing ceremony that took place on the sidelines of the Winter Satellite Workshop 2025 in Espoo, Finland. Wait, that was a weird sentence. That didn't make sense. Anyway, the signing makes the Nordic country the latest to commit to the safe and responsible exploration of space that benefits humanity, according to a NASA statement. Finland has been part of the space exploration community for decades, with Finnish companies and research institutes producing many innovations and technologies. Finland's Minister of Economic Affairs, Willie Riedman? Willie? How? That's not a Finn name. Willie Riedman? Any Finns in here? I should go ask the adopted grandma because she's Finnish. Willie? Willie? Really? Willie? That's a Finnish name? It should be like Draki, or something like that. I know that didn't sound like anything. So anyway, quote, with the Artemis Accords, we will strengthen our partnership with the United States and other allies. Our aim is that the cooperation will open up opportunities for the Finnish space sector in the new era of space exploration and the Artemis program, Riedman said. Wilhelm, okay, but Finn languages aren't like Germanic, are they? There's a different root to Finnish languages, I thought. So why would it be like William or Wilhelm? Aren't Finns usually named Sammy? I don't know. Hello, Selected Boy, by the way.
Yeah, boy.
So anyway, today Finland's joining a community of nations that want to share scientific data freely, operate safely, and preserve space environment for the Artemis generation, said NASA's our Associate Administrator Jim Free in a pre-recorded remarks to the ceremony. So there, now let's see, I never really knew what nations were a part of this. So you got, let's see, I can barely read this. India, Argentina. What the hell is that? What is Aravna? I've never heard of that. Australia, Austria, Bahrain, Belgium, Brazil, Bulgaria, Canada, Chile, Colombia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Dominican Republic. Okay, I'm just curious. And maybe Gunfox, are you here somewhere? I know you dropped this in the tip jar earlier. Do all these countries have space exploration, or are they just nomming on to our stuff? Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Iceland, India, Israel, Italy, Japan, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Mexico, Netherlands, New Zealand, Nigeria, Panama, Peru, Poland, Republic of Korea, Romania, Rwanda, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Slovenia. Wait, Slovenia and Slovenia, there's two different countries? I didn't know that. There's my geography lesson. Or is that geography or is that cartography? Whatever. What else here? Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Thailand, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, United States of America, and Uruguay. Oh, Russia's not part of the Artemis Accords? Maybe they're just still doing their own shit. Luxembourg, all 10 of them. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so there's more people in the space stuff. All right, moving on. I got to do this quickly because I want to get to the main topic. Bishop is trending. Apparently, this bishop at the National Prayer Breakfast, this bishop decided that she was going to at the national what do they call it? National Prayer something. Decided to be a political mouthpiece. Oh, wow. Okay, so here's what she did at the National Prayer Summit or breakfast, whatever they do the first day.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God.
Okay.
In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families.
And in the pulpit.
Who fear for their lives.
Well, that's not the problem. They should fear for if they're fearing for their lives, it's because they have no idea what's in store for them. Not because of the president, but because people who are willing to permanently sterilize them. But I digress. Let me let her finish here because she seems to be making a political statement, but whatever.
People, the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings,
Oh,
who labor in
so we
poultry
should keep
farms
slave
and
labor.
meatpacking plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals. They may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals.
Right, and that's why they're dealing with the criminals first. Oh, wait. Except for they cross the border illegally, which is illegal. That's technically a criminal. But that's, they're going for the bad ones first, dear.
They pay taxes.
No, they don't.
And are good neighbors.
No, really? The ones who just came over the last 4 years, they pay taxes, or are they getting taxpayer support? Rules.
They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues,
synagogues,
and temples.
Are they?
I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own
Which ones? That's the other part. These fake asylum seekers who they said like 97% of the asylum claims are false. That of the ones they've adjudicated so far, 97%. They got over 1 million people who've already had their asylum case denied and should have been sent back already, but they're still here. So what's your problem here? What are you getting at here?
Lands to find compassion and welcome here.
No.
Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land.
No, we weren't. Most of us were born here.
May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being.
You can honor the dignity of every human being after you send them home. That's just give them a dignified plane ticket home.
One another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world.
Okay, so anyway, she pulled out a political statement at the prayer breakfast. Now, look, I can criticize her, or that's her belief that, you want to show these people mercy. What's odd about it, though, is that they just don't, I guess maybe she doesn't get the point, that we can't take everybody. If we took everybody in the world who's poor, we would destroy the country. And, you got to think about those who are here and send the criminals away. I mean, she didn't mention anything about the criminals. Maybe she's worried about the people who, have been here for a long time. They have kids here, whatever. I can understand having some compassion for those. There was an example yesterday I saw of this woman who's been here. I mean, we might even play this clip. She's been here 20 years. She has 3 kids who were born here. Her kids are American because of birthright citizenship, which is another subject that's coming up. And she's never bothered to even try to resolve her immigration status. Not in 20 years. She has never tried to resolve her immigration status. Not through Republican presidents, not through Democratic presidents, nothing. And so now, she's worried about being deported because they put out the sob story of this woman. Well, that's not the average person they're even looking at right now. The average person they're looking at crossed in the last 3 years are having their housing paid for by some city in America. The people who have had criminal charges or came over here with criminal charges. The people, the millions, like 1.5 million, that have already had their asylum hearings and have had them denied and ordered deported that haven't left. You didn't seem to have any interest in those, because you'd rather throw out some propaganda because the media propaganda has told you that Donald Trump's going to deport everybody, calling them immigrants without saying the word illegal. There's strategy in that. So apparently the bishop, the way you know this bishop was sincere and isn't just a political mouthpiece is that she immediately went on CNN, had to double down, really.
Bishop, I appreciate your time and your tone there, so serious and genuine. You see him, he's stone-faced, he then looks down, but he's listening to every word you say. As you made that personal plea to him, what were you looking at him in that moment? What kind of response were you perhaps hoping for in that moment?
Well, by the way, I forgot to tell you what the response was. So immediately as she finished what she was saying, and as she was about to leave the pulpit, Donald Trump looked up to her and did one of these, like trying to get her attention. And Donald Trump yelled, "Go fuck yourself." Okay, no, he didn't, but that would have been funny. Anyway, and then he said something about separation of church and state. Kiss my ass. Oh. I'm going straight to hell. Anyway,
I was looking at the president because I was speaking directly to him. I was also, frankly, as you do in every sermon, speaking to everyone who was listening through that one-on-one conversation with the president.
It's so weird, too.
Reminding us all that in the people that are frightened in our country, the two groups of people that I mentioned are our fellow human beings, and that they have been portrayed in all throughout the political campaign in the harshest of lights that I want.
Oh, you mean the ones that have murdered people in the United States, the ones that have been stealing and robbing people, the ones who have been committing violence against people? Because that's always the ones he focuses on. And that seems to be the ones that Tom Homan is focusing on, the ones who've already had their deportation hearings and have been ordered deported. Yes, those are the ones he focuses on. Those are the ones they want to go after first. And maybe the most recent arrivals. You know, we can just stop the arrivals. There's a caravan, by the way, coming through Mexico right now, heading towards the border. I'm curious how that's going to work out. But anyway.
I wanted to counter as gently as I could with a reminder of their humanity and their place in our wider community. And I was speaking to the president because I felt that he has this moment now where he feels charged and empowered to do what he feels called to do. And so I wanted to say, you know, there is room for mercy. There's room for a broader compassion. We don't need to.
For all of them? That's what I'm curious about. Does she mean for all of them? Like I said, the woman who's been here 20 years, had a couple kids and whatever, who hasn't bothered to fix her status. I can still see maybe not being allowed to be in the last of the line and figure out a way to fix her status, because certainly that's not the focus right now. But I'm just saying, what are you talking about? This makes no sense. Compassion for who? Compassion for people who break our laws. Compassion for people who commit violence. Compassion for people who kill people. Compassion for people who violate people sexually. Compassion for people who destroy people's property. What are you talking about?
You portray with a broad cloth in the harshest of terms some of the most vulnerable people in our society.
And then you just portrayed them in a broad cloth in the most meek of terms. You're doing the same thing, just at the other side of that spectrum. But we're focused on the ones on the side of the spectrum that Trump uses. That's the difference.
Who are, in fact, our neighbors, our friends, our children, our friends' children, and so forth.
So you spoke...
Oh, she's talking about she's talking about the transgender, because that's what she's focused on too. That was the other half of that. Which, if you truly have compassion for trans kids, you would allow them to all go through puberty. Because 90% of kids who think they're trans change their mind once they go through puberty. That puberty is the fix for most of the problems. But you guys want the medicalization of kids and sterilization of kids and medical and surgical altering of kids who can't make that decision at 12 years old or 13 years old. They can't even think ahead to next year, let alone 10 years down the road. Your compassion seems misguided. Misguided, Bishop. I understand your compassion, and I get it, but your compassion is misguided in so many ways. Because you've glommed on to the activists who are telling you this is life-saving. No, it's life-destroying. Move on. I can't listen to her anymore. Episcopal bishop mixing politics with her church is against the tax exemption laws for her church. Considering this, just pull her exemption. Then she can say whatever she chooses without concern. Well, I don't know if I agree with that necessarily. Maybe she thinks, oh, by the way, Bishop Marian Edgar Buddy is the bishop of the Episcopal Diocese of Washington. She's the first woman to hold the position. She was given a great honor today, a chance to unify America around the Christian message at the dawn of the new administration. Instead, she disgraced herself with a lecture you'd hear on CNN or an episode of The View. What an embarrassment. That's Charlie Kirk's take. Don't often agree with Charlie Kirk, but I'm having a hard time not agreeing with him there. All right. And then there's an article in American Thinker. I'm not going to go through it, but here it is. A bishop insults Trump and kind of goes through that. It's a pretty interesting article, but I'm going to skip it. And then Christianity is trending also because of this. This is nothing more than an LGBT activist wearing Christianity as a skin suit to push her depraved satanic ideology. That's harsh, but I'm saying, and here's Donald Trump's actual response. The so-called bishop who spoke at the National Prayer Service on Tuesday morning was a radical left hardline Trump hater. She brought her church into the world of politics in a very ungracious way. She was a nasty tone and not compelling or smart. She failed. I can't do Trump very well. She failed to mention a large number of illegal immigrants that came into our country and killed people. Many were disposited from jails and mental institutions. It is a giant crime wave that has taken place in the USA. Apart from her inappropriate statements, the service was very boring and uninspiring one. She is not very good at her job. She and her church owe the public an apology. So he wasn't very happy. And all the lefties are trashing him for that. But, is what it is. Don't care. Bernice King is trending. Apparently Bernice King is fighting with Black Twitter a little bit, or some of Black Twitter. Apparently, Sexy Red, the rapper, who's not that sexy, and her red is uninspiringly fake, was mad at how Bernice King was upset with Sexy Red on how they used Dr. King's image. This is someone did an animation there, but she had a picture of this picture right here. So she said she put Sexy Red with the picture of Dr. King. Sexy Red, she's a rapper, Avocado Stably. You might not get that. And she says this is intentionally distasteful, dishonoring, deplorable, and disrespectful of my family and my father, who is not here to respond himself because he was assassinated for working for your civil and human rights and war and poverty. Now, if you knew some notes about Dr. King, you'd know that he might have hit that when he was, because, he was known for indulging in whoever offered it. But it doesn't necessarily take away from his legacy other than his personal legacy. But no, I think, and so people are arguing with Bernice King about whether or not Sexy Red should use that image. She has a point. I don't want to see a picture of my dad with some hoe. Sexy Red is a fucking degenerate. Look at the names for lip gloss. Booty hole brown. Yeah, that's nasty. Anyway, I'll leave the link up there. You can figure it out yourself. Silk Road is trending because, as we talked about yesterday, Ross Ulbricht apparently got a pardon from President Trump, and people are arguing about Silk Road and his role in selling shit. So he put up this website called Silk Road, and people could sell whatever they want. I think they use cryptocurrency or something to buy and sell stuff. And unfortunately, it also ended up being a site where people were posting like illegal drugs and stuff, and so people were selling it. So there's a lot of argument about this. Now here's John Stossel, who says President Trump just pardoned Ross Ulbricht. Good. Ulbricht has served almost 10 years of a life sentence for creating the Silk Road website where people bought and sold things the government didn't like. That's a very libertarian take on it. Let's see what John Stossel says. There we go.
The FBI shut down Silk Road, the online drug site. They called that a major victory over drug abuse.
Silk Road generated more than $1 billion in illegal business.
The most sophisticated and extensive criminal marketplace on the internet today.
Criminal marketplace.
Because people bought drugs on the site anonymously. Silk Road's founder had bragged the state is unable to get its thieving, murderous mitts on the site. But he slipped up. He accidentally used his real name, Ross Ulbricht, on an internet forum, and the state found him.
The FBI has...
And what's wild, they sentence him to 2.5 life sentences overall.
Arrested the reputed mastermind of a popular online black market for drugs.
Then Judge Catherine Forrest said because Silk Road was a black market of unprecedented scope, she would sentence Ulbricht to life in prison with no possibility of parole ever.
He said, Mom, it's a death sentence. It just takes longer. And he's right.
They sentenced him to death for this.
This is for all nonviolent charges.
She and others say it was unfair to lock Ross up forever for a nonviolent crime. But why should we care? Who was Ulbricht anyway?
All right, that's all I'm going to play it. That gives you just the background. And I'll make a separate link of this report by Stossel. But there's some hearty debate on whether or not this guy should have got a pardon. And obviously Stossel's take is, yes, he should have gotten a pardon. This guy says Ross Ulbricht served almost 10 years. They gave him a life sentence for creating the Silk Road website, a free market the government didn't control. They made an example of him. Trump just freed him, which is interesting. It's very interesting they did that. Just in, Trump issues unconditional pardon for the life sentence of Ross Ulbricht, calling the people who convicted him scum. Ulbricht was the founder of the dark website Silk Road. He was convicted in 2015 of drug trafficking, conspiracy to commit money laundering, and computer hacking. Ulbricht was sentenced to 2 life sentences plus 40 years, a sentence worse than the worst drug sellers on the site. In his announcement, Trump drew comparisons between his situation and Ulbricht's. I just called the mother of Ross William Ulbricht to let her know that in honor of her and the libertarian movement, which supported me so strongly, it was my pleasure to have just signed a full and unconditional pardon for her son Ross. The scum that worked to convict him were some of the same lunatics who were involved in the modern-day weaponization of government against me. He was given 2 life sentences plus 40 years, which, I mean, even for a non... he wasn't personally selling anything on there. It was a conduit that people could use cryptocurrencies, whatever, to buy and sell shit. And basically, as the libertarians say, being ungovernable. It couldn't, and the fact they gave him 2 life sentences plus 40 years for a non-violent crime is amazing. Can you get a 2/3 conditional pardon? I don't know. I don't know if you can. So now someone says, I can hear the Democrats now. All the empty hypocritical comments are already being queued up for the talking heads. They let violent criminals out of prison, but want someone like Ulbricht in prison for life. Who cares what they say? That's a good point. So anyway, he had made that promise at the Libertarian Convention, and he's followed through on it. So that's why Ross Ulbricht and Silk Road are trending. By the way, there's a new development in the Hunter Biden story. Yes, the pardoned Hunter Biden, who's been pardoned for any possible crime he may have committed from 2011 to basically the day of, or 2014, or till, 2014 through the day that Joe Biden pardoned him. Well, now suddenly, out of the blue, the Department of Justice has made an admission.
For Hunter Biden, back in the news where the DOJ now argues a criminal oligarch paid off the first son to try and influence U.S. policy while President Biden was serving as VP.
What?
Some new documents out there, and Chad Pergram's seen them.
What?
He is live on Capitol Hill to take us through this.
They got covered. They knew, the Justice Department knew that he had taken bribes because his father was the vice president. Oh, the big guy did 10% of those bribes. I'm just asking. I got to ask the question.
Story. What?
Hi, Jethro Hetero.
Now in the chapter of Hunter Biden. Chad?
Bill, good morning. It's possible this could be the closest anyone has come to showing a transfer of money from overseas in exchange for potential influence over U.S. policy with Hunter Biden. Now, we've heard...
Now, wait a minute. How the hell could Hunter Biden have influence over U.S. policy? Oh, wait. His father was the vice president. I wonder if Joe Biden knew about this. See, one of those pardons that Joe Biden forgot to do. I think I said this. Joe Biden forgot to pardon himself. I wonder what kind of evidence they're going to come up with on these.
About Hunter Biden's ties to the Ukrainian energy firm Burisma. House investigators have probed that for months. But how about potential links to Romania?
Justice Department.
Now, prosecutors in Hunter Biden's tax case say he worked for Gabriel Popoviciu. He's a Romanian business magnate. Now, the allegation is that Hunter Biden and his business colleagues took $3 million in payments.
For what?
Popoviciu faces a criminal investigation in Romania over a land deal. Special counsel David Weiss makes that very case in his filing in California.
By the way,
Weiss
David Weiss is pissed at the former president for all this shit. David Weiss is just like, fuck it, I'm sending everything out. Y'all gonna get everything now.
Judges, they structured the deal for Hunter so it, quote, concealed the true nature of the work he was performing. Now, prosecutors say there were concerns about ramifications for President Biden. Popoviciu is expected to testify at Hunter Biden's tax evasion trial in Los Angeles that starts September 5th. He's charged with failing to pay $1.4 million in taxes over a 4-year period. The House's impeachment inquiry remains open. Republicans claim Hunter Biden sold his father as the brand and used the president for access.
Now, it's interesting. I don't know this. There's a tax evasion case still in Los Angeles. Is that like the California? I'm not sure. The DOJ finally officially admits Hunter Biden was bribed by a criminal Romanian oligarch to influence U.S. policy through Joe Biden. So that's breaking. That's some breaking news, I guess. And in fact, here it is. There's I put the link separately to that report. Or this is the second report on it from Fox News. Of course, Fox News is probably the only place reporting it. Mitch McConnell's trending. Why? Because he's upset about the January 6th pardons, apparently. Someone says Mitch McConnell criticized, where is it? Someone here says, it's weird that Mitch McConnell criticized President Trump for all those he pardoned, but is silent about Joe Biden's pardon, including pardoning his own family. Yeah, Recent discussion. Mitch McConnell's criticism of President Trump's decision to grant pardons to January 6 prisoners. This has sparked a significant reaction on social media, with many users expressing their opinions on McConnell's stance and the broader implications of the Republican Party. McConnell criticized Trump for issuing blanket pardons for January 6 prisoners, calling it a misuse of presidential power. Really? Was he asleep a week ago? What? Was Mitch frozen? Did he have an episode like the rest of the week and then just woke up yesterday? Where the hell was Mitch with the pardons 2 days ago? Where was Mitch? Did he say anything about? Did he make a statement? Did he say anything? Hello, Wraithnick. Yes, I think that ignoring pardons is fine at the moment. Remember, what's good for the gander is good for the goose. Which hypocrisy, Wraithnick? Help me understand what you're saying here, because you're speaking in little blurbs. Look. So Mitch is upset with the pardons of the J6. Everyone on the right is upset with the pardon by Joe Biden. Now, I looked something up, by the way, because I was wondering, in both these cases, because I'm wondering how possibly would these pardons be challenged. And so when I looked up the word pardon, and I should have kept this up, but I did not. In fact, let's do pardons definition, because I was looking up in a legal definition book. Oh, I see what you're saying. The Congress and them allowing pardons for individuals while refusing the pardons that Trump gave. That's the hypocrisy. Well, yeah, unfortunately, they can't refuse them, or fortunately, they can't refuse them, I should say. Here you go. Search of legal terms and definitions. Pardoned. This is the Collins Dictionary. Where's the one? There was one in a legal dictionary. Here we go. Law Dictionary. Here it is. Because there's a line in here that was interesting. Definition citations. An act of grace proceeding from is that supposed to be the power entrusted with the execution of the laws, which exempts an individual on whom it is bestowed from the punishment the law inflicts for a crime he has committed. That's is that from the 1915 case? Pardon is to be distinguished from amnesty. The former applies only to the individual, releases him from the punishment fixed by law for a specific offense, but does not affect the criminality of the same or similar acts when performed by other persons or repeated by the same person. The latter term denotes an act of grace extended by the government to all persons who may come within its terms, and which obliterates the criminality of past acts done and declares that they shall not be treated as punishable. Now, there was one blurb in one of these definitions, though, specifically stated that a pardon cannot be issued if there is no conviction. Now, granted, we saw the preemptive pardon by Gerald Ford, right, of Richard Nixon, because Nixon was never charged with anything, and Ford did a pardon, but no one ever challenged that pardon in the courts. Key words: past acts done. Yes, no one ever pardoned. No one ever challenged the pardon of Richard Nixon, and I don't think there have been any preemptive pardons that have been significant since then that we've heard of. But now suddenly there's this huge interest in the idea about these preemptive pardons. Now, it's kind of funny, well, funny and pathetic in some ways. But let's start with how many people have thought about pardons in the past, preemptive pardons. And I think we should have watched this yesterday, but we didn't. So let's go to the preemptive pardons here. By the way, Wraithniks, welcome to the show. Wraithniks, I had to read that again. Welcome to the show. If you haven't subscribed, well, click that button. I'm here every day, I'm here Monday through Friday. Let's start with here it is. This is the one I wanted to show you. I don't know if you've seen this one yet. Maybe we showed this yesterday, but I'm gonna show it again. I don't care. On pardons. Oh my God, Joy Reid. What the hell is that face? Here we go. That's a really weird O face.
Have you ever heard of somebody getting a preemptive pardon who was innocent of all crime? Who's just an innocent person? Have you ever heard of that? Just somebody getting a blanket pardon and they're an innocent person?
But no.
Wait, never heard of an innocent person getting a preemptive pardon. This guy right here, he just got a preemptive pardon.
It's the president's own family. It's people that have been covering up for the president in addition to his own family.
Is there an innocent...
Oh my God, this is the ugliest panel I've ever seen. What is this? Oh my God, never do close-ups on these people.
Explanation for someone to seek preemptive pardons for family members. Would you do that if you knew you were innocent and just worried about outside forces?
Can you guess his answer? Can you guess his answer?
Answer to that is going to be no. If you haven't done anything wrong, you sit there and go, what do you need a preemptive pardon for?
Really?
Pardons people preemptively. He's essentially telling the public that these people have committed crimes.
Oh, Joe Biden. His whole family. He's telling people they've committed crimes.
And we may not be aware of what they are, but the pardon is...
And his son, just all crimes for 11 years. All kinds of crimes.
Clear evidence that crimes have been committed.
I imagine if he decides to issue these preemptive pardons, it will be cast in a way that he is protecting his family and protecting their reputations from villainous exterior forces that are against him.
Joe Biden. That's what he did.
First off, we should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity.
The audacity.
Of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability.
Oh my God, his own criminal culpability and his son's business dealings. I know that they're talking about Joe Biden, aren't they?
And that of his family members.
Oh my God.
Pardons are a major obsession with him.
Yes, Joe Biden. I wonder if Joe Biden even knows he signed pardons for his family. I wonder if his staff wrote those.
The idea of a kind of prospective pardon, this sort of permanent federal get-out-of-jail-free card. That seems to be what we're talking about in the case of this, right? With Giuliani and his 3 eldest children who, as far as we know, have not been convicted of a crime. Maybe they've committed a lot.
Biden family. Maybe they've committed a lot. January 6th committee. Maybe they've committed a lot.
And they don't want to face action. I don't know. It's weird. I wouldn't ask for a pardon. I don't think I deserve one because I don't think I've done anything criminal. But
who are these people?
That concept you can just kind of wave your magic pardon wand.
We have Tish James. We have Xavier Becerra. Mimi Rocha is literally my DA in my town. There will be opportunities to prosecute these people regardless if they abuse the pardon power as they are thinking.
Well, I wonder if that works for the Biden family. Maybe the state of Delaware can charge them with something. Well, it won't be Delaware. Maybe the state of Texas for defrauding the people of Texas. I don't know. How are they going to work that out? There's got to be something.
Hopefully, Ellie, there will be a skyfall on this entire crime family.
Yes, the Biden crime family. You're right.
The president does indeed pardon, let's say, Rudy Giuliani or any members of his family.
Any members of his family.
That, and I asked Preet Bharara this question, as essentially an admission of guilt?
I certainly would view it that way. I think millions of Americans would view it that way. If there was no belief in criminality, why would he think a pardon was necessary?
Because you're guilty, Adam. You accepted a pardon. I wonder if these people have formally accepted their pardons too. I mean, I don't know if you technically have to. You can formally waive the pardon. You can formally not accept it, but I don't know if you have to formally accept it. I would make them all affirm that they've accepted the pardon. That would be a good start. That would be a good start. Then you could just say they're all, well, hypocrites. I see hypocrites in there, of course. So, a couple things with the J6 pardon, though. A lot of people are upset about the fact that some of the J6 people got got pardoned. And some interesting things going on. First, Raskin, the dirty Q-tip guy, suggests that Trump pardoned J6 defendants to be a reserve army of political foot soldiers. Representative Jamie Raskin of Maryland, Tuesday on CNN, out front, said that President Donald Trump's pardoning the January 6th protesters was to create a reserve army of political foot soldiers, which is hilarious because a vast majority of the people who have gotten any kind of, sentence or whatever, charges, the vast majority of them weren't even violent. So I don't know why, like the little old ladies that were, basically pressured into taking a plea. They weren't violent. Some people just walked in and walked out. So here's there's the clip here, but I'm not going to play it. Raskin said the question was why pardons have generally been used when people are actually innocent or there was some procedural miscarriage of justice. Really? Then why did you get a pardon, Jamie Raskin? And in fact, this is completely false. The Supreme Court in 1915 said that if you accept a pardon, it's not because you're innocent, it's because you were guilty and you're accepting the pardon. We've got them on tape, hitting police officers over the head with pipes and bats and Confederate battle flags. What? And all of that's been established. Most of them pled guilty. We'll talk about that. Others have been convicted. There was no procedural miscarriage of justice. On the contrary, they've had every benefit of due process. Really? Then, if that's the case, was Leonard Peltier's pardon after he murdered two FBI, killed two FBI agents? Was he not guilty? Was that a miscarriage of justice? Was he actually innocent? No. The 8,000 people that Biden pardoned, were they all innocent? Is that what you're saying, that they were all a miscarriage of justice? He continued. So pardons in that case are reserved for people who are in reform, people who are rehabilitated and no longer constitute a threat to public safety. None of these J6 people constitute a threat to public safety. That's the funny thing about it. I'm going to skip back to something here because I want to, this is an actual person who was there, and we're going to finish with this because I don't have much time today. I might come back this afternoon. Who knows? But I want to go with this. I didn't get as far as I wanted. Maybe we'll go do more of this tomorrow. But this interview with a J6 witness, I'm not going to interrupt it much because I don't have time to. But I'll try to not talk over it too much. But even though I want to, listen to this, or we'll watch what happened because it tells you what happened from his perspective being there.
I'm here with Brian Miller, and he was at January 6th. We went on.
They were both there.
To the Capitol in the private jet. Okay, so Brian was with me, and Brian, we went back to the hotel. Okay, when the crowd went down there, so we were all down by the Capitol before the whole crowd got there.
Yep.
And so here's what Brian saw. Okay, so I want you to tell us.
Yeah. So after y'all took off and I stayed there by myself, then I was there with a bunch of other veterans, and so we went up to where the podium is at. But then we were there for quite a while, and then all of a sudden, whenever the police started coming over, and eventually they started shooting tear gas and rubber bullets, and people were getting hurt in their faces and bleeding, and it was pretty cold that day too. But it was crazy.
Okay, wait. So. I remember after this, I was just
we saw this live when we were watching. All of a sudden, they just started shooting rubber bullets in the crowd and tear gas.
He kept repeating that, and I was like, it really couldn't register with me. Yeah. So, but now it's kind of more. There were some serious injuries from the rubber bullets too. I was asking about like the scaffold guy, that guy who was standing up there. Yeah. What was he telling people to do?
Well, and it was fun, and it was funny because the guy, he went all the way up to the very top of that scaffolding, and because there's the rafters that they were building, and then there's the one that's right in the middle, right near the podium, where he was sitting right on the very top with a bullhorn, telling everybody, "Get over here! Be a patriot and
go in
there."
Here
and
this is the guy, scaffolding guy, never got arrested.
It was just, get up here, get up here.
And then they were getting
just
shot
like
with bullets?
Ray Epps. Scaffolding guy never got arrested.
Yeah.
Where were you standing to see all of this?
I was right there on the top, right near
the scaffold guy.
Yeah, I was right between the scaffolding and right near the podium.
So he was telling everyone, get up here.
Yeah, everybody,
Did he tell them to go in?
everybody that was down on the ground kept telling everybody to come on up because they wanted to push everybody to try and get inside the building.
Okay, they were rounding them
Yeah,
up
they
and
were
having
running
them go.
and everybody to try and push them to get in. Yeah.
And then at that same time, he started shooting. They started shooting
yeah.
them.
Then after a
with
while, they started. Yeah. Then they had that broadcast. I remember if you remember that broadcast saying, "Okay, we're gonna have a curfew. That anybody was gonna be there's gonna be arrested." And so, but this all happened just before that happened.
So when you saw them starting to shoot the people with the bullets, what were you thinking?
I couldn't believe it.
Thanks for dropping in, Ray.
I mean, this is when I was posting everything on Facebook and just go look at what's going on here. I mean, this is like you're one of those places where you just say, I've got to get all this like a reporter.
But you couldn't believe it that they
Like a
were doing that.
videographer.
I mean, were you like, why are they shooting this into the crowd? The crowd is just
Well, yeah,
peaceful.
but it was like everybody that was in the front.
They were doing everything
because they were
to
trying because I think
aggravate
they
the
were
crowd
worried
even
that they
more.
but nobody had anything. Nobody had any swords or guns or anything.
But my question is, why did you keep saying they're shooting them with bullets?
Yeah, because you could see them shooting them.
But did you think, why did they do that to them? Or did you think, I understand why they're doing it? Because the way you put it to me, it was almost like, why?
Well, I just couldn't believe they did it. I mean, they shouldn't have done it anyways because, but you know, then the police officers got in with the crowd.
But what made you
and they were
say you
pushing
didn't
back
think
and
that they
forth.
should have done it? What
Well, they
made
shouldn't
you
have done
feel
it.
like they shouldn't have done it? Because the people were just standing there?
Well, nobody had, even as a veteran, I didn't have a weapon on me. None of us had weapons, so they shouldn't have done anything. So.
Okay, so that really felt offensive to you.
Ray Epps did
to
not
see
get
them
a
just
pardon.
shooting off
Yep.
into a crowd.
Yep.
Because a lot of people have had that same complaint.
Yeah.
So, okay, you saw them shooting. You were by the scaffolding guy. Were you up high on the scaffolding?
No, I didn't go up in the scaffolding. I was there on the ground level. So, but I was right near the podium, in between where the scaffolding is, where they were building all the places where people can sit.
Okay,
The president.
but he was telling everybody to go in. He was telling everybody to get up to the front. Why didn't you go?
Well, because I just wanted to video it. I don't want to go inside.
You knew you didn't want to go
No,
inside?
I was going to stay outside the whole time. So.
Okay.
Yeah, but I
okay.
saw people trying to destroy stuff or whatever, and they were just pushing to get in. I mean, I had a good view of everyone trying to get inside that doorway. You know, like where that one cop got like stuck in the deal. I don't know if there's a lot of information about that.
He's supposed to be my bodyguard, and here he was just watching, and I was like, let me just go right in there.
Well, and then of course I didn't even know that they were on the other side of the building where the stairway was, where the rotunda is. I'm on the other side of the building.
So you were on the opposite side.
Okay, they're going to go on, but also he mentions later in this, I'm going to cut it off. He mentions later here that there were these odd people wearing helmets and masks over their faces, whatever, that were part of the people who were breaking the windows. And we saw, we've seen video of the guy. He's obviously breaking the window. Someone tries to stop him. He starts threatening them. And then as police coming around, he tries to hand the hammers and stuff that he was using to break the windows to the people around him. They're like, no, we don't want that. Get away from me. There were a bunch of people like that. And so, unfortunately, I didn't get to half the stuff I wanted to get to today. But there are people, by the way, most of the January 6 people who've been pardoned have been released, except from the DC, what they known as the DC Gulag. And Jake Lang, the longest serving January 6 political prisoner on pretrial detention, he's still under pretrial detention in Washington, D.C., was allegedly assaulted and strip searched by the D.C. Gulag guards Monday night while awaiting release. President Donald Trump pardoned nearly every defendant charged with crimes related to the Capitol riot on January 6, 2021, including prisoners accused of violent crimes. Trump's executive order granted full and complete unconditional pardons to over 1,500 people and commuted the sentences of another 14. Now, although the pardons called for immediate release of the prisoners, nearly 30 of the prisoners, they say hostages here, including Lang, remain detained in federal prison in D.C., Oklahoma, Mississippi, and Kentucky as of Tuesday morning, according to January 6 activist Suzanne Monk, Representative Eli Crane of Arizona. Was turning the screws inside the D.C. Gulag, where 22 prisoners are still being held Tuesday. Lang was allegedly swarmed and assaulted by prison officials overnight as he was sitting in his unit waiting to be released. Quote, I was swarmed and assaulted by prison officials, including Lieutenant Allen and his emergency response team thugs last night while sitting all packed up to leave. Langs posted on X. Our families are standing outside in below freezing 10-degree weather until 1 a.m. when they release 2 hostages. There are still 20 of us in here. Lang has spent 4 years and 5 days in the D.C. gulag without trial, including weeks at a time in, quote, the hole. He was hit with over a dozen charges related to January 6th riot, including criminal counts on assaulting law enforcement. Lang was accused of taking a bat to officers during the chaos. He claimed in subsequent post-Monday night that he was also stripped naked and forced to undergo humiliating cavity search in front of multiple prison guards. Last night my cell was raided and I was tackled and arm twisted violently against the wall by prison correction officers. I was stripped naked and searched in my cavities and forced to stand naked around half a dozen prison guards. These tyrannical animals will not stop, and we need President Trump to get these men released as soon as possible, a friend of Lang posted on X. So there's still a bunch of them still in the D.C. Prison who haven't been released. And as of today, still, some of them have not. They've released a few more today. And here it is. D.C. jail reportedly refuses to release some January 6th defendants. What's going on? And there's video in this article too, but that's got to be it for today because I am out of time. So here's the article in the Daily Caller, also in American Greatness. I showed you that one, DC Daily Caller. In PJ Media, apparently also there's an FBI whistleblower who exposed January 6th weaponization. And he has spoken out on the pardons. The former FBI agent who was aggressively targeted for challenging Biden's weaponization of weaponized federal campaign against J6ers spoke out on Donald Trump's J6 pardon in exclusive comments to PJ Media. Steve Friend is the FBI whistleblower and now a podcaster who lost his job and found himself the target of outrageous federal persecution after he respectfully challenged his superiors on the unconstitutional illegal bias campaign against the January 6 protesters. He and fellow whistleblowers who call themselves the Suspendables saw up close and personal just how terrible the corruption in the FBI was, and now Friend is praising Trump for pardoning or commuting the sentences of nearly all the January 6 prisoners. So you can read about that in this article. PJ Media, let's see. Oh, just about the liberal meltdown. If you haven't seen it, it's all over the place. Plus, they accused Elon Musk of giving a Nazi salute, which is just so fucking stupid. We showed you all the Democrats that gave Nazi salutes. And also, apparently, Donald Trump keeps 46 promises and counting on day one, thrilling Republicans. So with all the executive orders, they're talking about that. There's a lot more in the links today, but like I said, I gotta call it a day. I got the aggregator out too because I didn't pull a whole lot of articles out, but lots of interesting stuff. So let's end on that note. Here come the links for the day. Here we go. Hello, Ms. Wild Wolf. Just about to leave, though. Here are today's links. There you go. They'll be in the description, too. That's it, though. I got to go. Sorry, I'm late. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sponsoring the show, Reaction and Gunfox, and everyone who shares the stream and everyone who participates in the chat. Hit the like button before you go, but that's it. Gotta go. But 37 people and only 21 likes. Hit the damn like button. All right, I gotta go. Thanks. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Now. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thanks for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.